Okay.
Okay. Alright, so this is horse number 1. This is Diego. I'm just going to try and, the first thing that we're going to look at is essentially how is he taking in food. So we're just going to do a quick evaluation of his oral cavity. So if you want to just come in a little closer. I'm just going to lift up the edges here. We can see that he has real nice incisors. It's a little difficult to see how his cheek teeth are, but as you can see, he's relatively straight. Okay, his incisor teeth meet real nicely. That means he's going to be able to grasp and tear off food if he's foraging real easily. Okay, so what we're going to look for here, I'm going to give him some fresh forage here, something that's palatable. This is helpful. We want to make sure that he's actually use his lips to pull it up into his cheek teeth, and as you can tell, his lower jaw is the part that's rotating. And you should be able to chew it, grind it down real nicely without quibbing, and quibbing means that they're actually going to open their mouth, gape out their mouth, and he's not doing that. He's able to chew that within about 4 or 5 chews and then swallow it. Okay, so his dental makeup is real nice. Okay, he's chewing it really well. He's not having a problem there. Okay, so you should have some information right there in terms of what to put on your lab assignment. And then the previous video, I kind of just showed a close view of him. So this is Diego. You need to be able to identify his colors, his markings on the face as well as on his legs. So I want to go over with him before I have Lindsay kind of evaluate his gut sounds with some real quick anatomy, just to kind of reiterate what I mentioned in the lecture portion. So if you want to kind of just back up a little bit so that you can kind of see this full side. I'm going to have to step over just a little bit. Okay. And so just a quick overview, we have into the skull, we have the oral cavity here, going down into the esophagus, and runs right here, going into the stomach, which holds about 4.5 gallons, which is relatively small given the horse's body size. And then from the stomach we have the small intestine, which is going to wind out inside the basically encompassed within the rib cage, about 70 feet long. And then we're going to go into the large intestine, which is made up of the cecum and the large and small colon. On the left side of the horse, we have the large colon that basically comes out right here. It's going to wind around. It's going to undergo a dorsal and a ventral flexures. You have a dorsal basically turn, and then you have a ventral turn, which is going to go essentially out into the rectum, venous, and the rectum. Okay, I'm going to turn them over on this side. So you can kind of see the lights a little bit better when I go over here. So I'm just going to bring them over on this side over here. And so on the right side is essentially the cecum. The cecum is going to sit. So again, I just want to kind of go through this. The oral cavity, esophagus, going into the stomach. You've got the small intestine, which you're familiar with. The small intestine goes into the blind pouches, the cecum. And usually the ileocecal junction is right about here, right up here at the upper portion of the plane. So it's still right where that last rib is. Essentially right in that area is where we have to start at the cecum. And again, it's a blind pouch off of the small intestine. It winds around basically just like this, right on the back side of the pelvis. It's a little bit closer here to the flank. So it comes right here along the flank line into the bottom portion. And then, again, it's a blind pouch. It's curved like a C right here on the right side of the horse. So when you're listening for fecal sounds, you need to be on the right side. And from there, almost at the same entrance where we have the small intestine coming in, you have the entrance into the large intestine. So digestion is going to come out of the small intestine into the cecum, and then back out through the cecum into the large intestine, and then following kind of the pathway that I described on the opposite side. Okay, so whenever we're listening for sound, we're going to listen in this back abdominal area. Now, it's difficult to listen to sounds in the small intestine because it's sitting so deep within the abdominal cavity. So, and also, the digestive is going to spend the most time here in the large or in the hindgut rather than the small intestine. Most of our digestive upsets are going to occur in the hindgut. The cecum, and then also the large and small colon. Okay, so anytime that we're listening, what we're going to listen for, just to demonstrate in that video again, we want to make sure that we're pointing those earpieces away in here. And then we're going to take our stethoscope, put it between our index and our middle finger. And you can do this with your left or right hand, it doesn't matter. But when we're listening for sounds in the cecum, we're going to listen up to the ileocecal junction here. Again, we're going to find that last rib, which is here, and go up right here between the last rib and the flank. We're going to listen for approximately about 30 seconds. from gurgling, swishing, and so forth, but there should be consistent gut sounds that we're hearing. When we move our stethoscope down to the bottom portion of that last rib, right in between the flanks, and this is again going from the ileocecal junction down to the bottom portion of the cecal. Again, we should be hearing sounds there. And then we would go over to the opposite side. Same thing, we're finding that last rib. Come right up here to the top portion here. Again, here we're listening for what's gut movement through the large intestine. So the upper portion of the dorsal flexor, and then we move it down to the bottom portion of the ventral flexor. Again, we should be hearing sounds every 4 to 6 seconds. The lack of sounds might indicate impaction, which means the digestion is not moving. And then slow types movement might indicate production of gas, and gas being stuck in the abdominal tract, which is also a consequence of, giving to colic. And again, colic is abdominal upset. So what we're interested in here, we're not looking for abnormalities, what we're listening and what I want you guys to understand is where the digestive tract sits, how rate of passage is going to be quickly through the foregut, and then it's going to be substantially slower through the hindgut for good reason, because that's where all the fiber limitation occurs. Okay?